Okay guys, part deux. God, I hate the French. Ready to start cutting them up, putting them in bins, and the reason why I'm going to put them in bins, totes are easier to carry, but I have a plan to process this meat. So what we're going to do is, in each bin, this one here, we're going to do water in there and salt. And a fair amount of salt. And then what the salt's going to do is going to draw out the blood that's in the meat, okay? Just so you guys understand here. I don't think I got you guys in the camera yet. Come on. See if that'll help. When you take off a piece of meat, we're going to put it in a bin, put salt water in there, and then we're going to go to a second bin, rinse. Third bin would be after the rinse, we go inside the house, and my wife is ready to start packaging it up. I don't know if she's going to do any ground today, but she wants to get it in 1 to 2 pound packages. Excuse me, I love these things. Can live on Dr. Pepper. So you can see I got a fairly substantial 1/2 inch fat layer here. Pretty much runs down behind here. A lot of fat. We're going to put that off to the side. I have an idea for not only the tallow, but any like scraps of meat that I don't think are going to be that edible. Bait for the coyotes and stuff. I got 50 traps right there. And these 50 traps are going out in 2 days. And we're going to have a real good time trapping this year. So, like I said, you don't need a butcher's knife. You don't need all this fancy stuff to process a deer. As was explained to me a long time ago by a butcher friend of mine, it's a matter of following muscle structures. You can see there's a muscle structure here that would take off this ham. And that's pretty much what we're going to do. We're going to just take off as many muscle structures as possible. Now, I'm going to get another pair of gloves. We're going to get at this. I love these heavy duty nitrile gloves, disposables. They're what, $5 a box? 50 pair in there. You'll see me wearing these all the time when I'm skinning game. These things are tougher than tough. Hard to get onto because there's one size fits all. Not to mention my hands are a little sweaty from having the last pair on. But you can see I got a fat layer here. I'll shave off some of this just so you guys can see it. Now all the fat stuff can be taken off during the actual processing of packaging it, but I just wanted to show you guys something here. That's a significant piece of fat. It's got to be at least 1/2 inch thick. A lot of tallow is going to come out of that. So that goes in my tallow package. Now we're going to get to following muscle structures. You can see this one right here. You're going to want to take the tendons out and all that before you package it. That one comes around to here. Take this whole muscle out. Good eat. Good eat. Try to remove the silver skin while you're at it, but you're going to have more processing inside the house. And that's 2 muscles, which is the meat. Nice little tenderloin, throw over a grill, or a little loin, throw over a grill. Not bad. Now we work around to this one. She's got stuff she calls ground. And that's what she likes to take the smaller pieces and just grind it. Into the bucket. Let's get to a bigger ham here. Cut up here around the knee. We'll splice that right down the bone. I'm not into big roasts and stuff, guys. That's just me. So if she wanted to grind all of this, I wouldn't really give a hoot. There are certain parts of this that I will not let her grind, like the back straps. That goes without saying. Those are mine. Really, all you're doing is following muscle structures here. For me, it's not a matter of, oh, can I get that entire loin out or that entire ham out without any problems? Because I really don't care about, hey, I'm going to do an entire deer roast tonight. I don't really ever do that. I love venison, but I'm not into spending hours doing roasts. Never have been into that. Big ham, half a ham. Come around. Follow this one. You can see the white here. That's going to separate those two pieces. Follow the hip bone around. Up against the hip there. Out comes that piece of meat. You should get a fairly good amount of meat out of a deer. A fairly decent amount. And like I say, anything that I don't get this time around, that's where you get into the interesting part of trim work. See, if you just follow the white, it's really not that difficult. She's going to have a lot of trimming to get the fat off. You don't want that, I call it silver skin on there. It's just a membrane over the meat. Don't really care about that. Tastes awful, so I'm not going to cook it anyway. Part of the processing. Another half of a ham. Lots and lots of meat. Start back here. Here's a big ham. You don't see me using any giant butcher knife, any specialty carving. Now there's guys like Mitch, Dave Mitchell. Was a butcher. You know, he'd tell you how to carve up a deer quick, fast, and in a hurry. I don't know if he's ever done it on video, but I'm pretty sure he's done it in real life. Big frickin' ham. Look around here and get this other one out. It's got a fat layer on this one. We'll take that off. Got a healthy fat layer on that. I'll do my wife the honor and trim it down. I don't really care if I get a little bit of meat in there. I'm not losing anything on this one, that's for sure. Okay, gotta get around this, get through this fat. So taking out some of the fat. Trim work is getting in here and getting all those pieces out that you may have missed. And that's what trim work is. Well, at least it is to me. Try to get the bigger pieces out fast. Work on stuff that would go into the ground bin. Not that I'm actually doing separate bins. Sorry if I'm in the way of the camera, guys. There's just no other place to do this in here. You see this fat layer right here. You can just open that up. Try to take this thing off on a sheet. Should come off fairly easy. A little bit of meat on there, not gonna hurt. Like I said, I get a lot of meat out of this guy. This is ground. See this silver skin? Try to get that off. So you just come out with a piece of meat. Work on this ham over here. Got another one right. Right there. Trim work. You want most of this. Basically, I want to leave this thing bones, you know. That's what I want to leave, mass bones. Piece of meat. Let's see. Let's see what we can see. Yeah, I still think I got a little bit more meat here. I'm greedy. I like my meat. Trim work. By the time I get done, you're not going to see much of anything on this except for little bitty, tiny pieces. I just think it's something you should do, learn how to do. Can we hear any more about the in a survival situation? You know, okay, yeah, in a survival situation, I'd take every square inch of this deer and you'd smoke it, preserve it. Jerky. We got 2 people asking me for jerky last night, one being my brother and the other one a friend of mine. I said, yeah, I'll make you some jerky because I'm going to make it for myself anyway. Get up under this meat right here. My brother is out in North Carolina, living on the beach. So unless he shoots a deer on the beach, he doesn't have any hunting land anymore. Kind of sad. But when you're a fisherman, I guess living on the beach is a good thing, huh? Get the fat off there at the same time. Big chunk of meat. Okay guys, you getting the idea here? This is not really rocket science. I expect to have this done in about another hour and a half. Just following muscle structures. Try to take off the fat while you're going along. Less trim work in the house. Get yourself some nice pieces of, I mean, that's good for a meal right there, guys. It's a nice little meal. You know, about a pound of meat. I have no idea how much this deer weighed. I'm going to say probably well over 200 on the hook. Probably he was live weight about 250. Probably 190. I don't know. I carried him a long way. And I'll tell you what, that hurt. But yeah, we're going to get at this. I won't bore you with the entire thing. Like I said, there's really nothing to this. Let me see, I think I'll give you a good idea right here if I can get it in film. See this muscle right here? You got a white line here and it comes around into that. Follow that around. For those that like steaks and things like that, good steak is fun every now and again. You'd want to be a little bit more precise with your cuts. Me, like I said, most of this is going to be ground, except for the back straps. She don't get my back straps. Not for grinding purposes anyway. A lot of fat on this guy's going to have to be trimmed out. Alright guys, you get the point. I'll show you what's left when I'm done with it. Okay guys, as you can see, pretty much done with this deer. Nothing but a couple of ribs, some little tiny specks of meat in between that. You could really work on that real well, which I'm going to spend a little bit more time, but that thing probably doesn't weigh 15 pounds now, and that's just strictly bones. I like the rib meat. I like to take it out, so. But I'll work a little bit more on the neck area. Neck meat's pretty good. I guess it's all good if you grind it, so. You know, I still got a couple. I got the front quarters to do still. You know, I'm gonna rinse these off before I get up, but there's still meat there. Ooh. And I got a bucket full of meat, so that's going to be rinsed. We get at that. You know, some bone tools are gonna be made out of the legs. Don't know what I'm gonna do with most of the bones, but coyotes will be eaten well. I got some ideas for the leg bones here, these thicker leg bones. I got a couple ideas for those. But basically all you're left with is bone, cartilage, little pieces of meat. I guess you could take those off. I did get my back straps out, you know, which are right here. Those are my favorites. You know, and then there's a little bit of meat along the spine, but you're really working at it at that point to get whatever else off. I think I did pretty good. I got enough that I want off of it. But see, all this stuff, what you're seeing left is just little pieces still attached to a lot of fat. Got a lot of fat on this deer. I mean, just sheets of fat came off this deer. So, process that down a little bit. But there isn't much left of this puppy, so we'll work on it. And we got some plans for the hide, horns, and everything else. So that's pretty much it. There's nothing to it, guys. I spent a little time just following muscle structures. You know, the back straps, you can peel them things out. They come out real easy, but there you go, guys.